Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is LaShonda Williams, and I'm part of this year's 2024 Premier Westar class. This afternoon, my guest with me is Miss Doretha Royle. Glad to have
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Miss Doretha Royle, for taking your time for doing this legacy video for me. So, I have a few questions I'll ask you. Do you remember an event that happened in your youth that had a major impact on your life?
That's a pretty tough one because there were several different incidences that had a huge impact on me. For instance, my father passed when I was 14 years old. I had just turned 14. 2 years before he passed, he was very young. He was 44. And so there were 10 brothers and sisters, and there were seven still living at home. So that had a huge impact. And then just watching my mom try to maneuver through how to raise the seven that were still there. So just watching her, and she had this never give up attitude, never give up. And back in the day, raising seven kids and not even having any support, no welfare or anything, she did it all on her own. That was tough, but just to watch her do that with that never give up attitude, that's kind of what I developed as well. Is don't give up. No matter what happens to you, never ever give up. So those were two huge things that happened in my life that I remember the most. Just growing up from that experience, and then of course later on in life, I did have a car accident, and that car accident left me my leg partially paralyzed, and it's been that way for 20 something years. That had a huge impact on me as well because I was an athlete and loved sports, and for a while we didn't know whether I was going to be able to walk or run or do the things that I needed to do. So those two things had an impact on me. But my mom, I just remembered that when my dad passed, she never gave up. And so, as she told me, "Who are you? You remember who you are
Mm-hmm.
and who you belong to, and you'll make it." And I did.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So you have overcome a lot. And out of those 10 kids, what number was you?
Number five.
Number five, right
Hmm.
in the middle.
Number five. Yes.
Okay. If you could leave one message to the future generation, what would it be?
Well, I have to say, first of all, just put God first
Mm.
in everything that you do. Just put God first. It may not work out the way that you want it to when you're putting God first, but you just have to be assured that He knows what's best for you. And even through the hard times, you're still going to make it if you put Him first. To me, that's one of the most important things is to make sure that you put Him first. And, you know, one of the things I tell my students now is it's not, it does, what happens to you, that's not the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest thing is how you handle the things that happen to you.
Very true.
If students can remember that, young people can remember that, then you're going to make it in life. But to me, those are the two things that I try to live by and try to teach students, especially don't, whatever happens to you,
Mm-hmm.
focus on it. How are you going to handle it? That's important to
Mm-hmm.
me. So
Very true. Because everybody handles every situation different.
everybody does. And then, one of the other things, and I think that this was a quote from Gandhi that said, "Be the change that you wish to see in
Mm.
others." And so sometimes when we're looking at other people and we're pointing fingers at other people, but if we can just remember that we need to be that change.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's what it's all about. Be the change that you want to see in others. Be the change that you want to see in this world.
Right.
So that's where I am on
Okay.
things
Love
like that.
that. Great answer. As you look back, what do you wish you had accomplished that you haven't?
Oh man, I saw that. And, I've been thinking about that, and the one thing that I have not accomplished yet is earning my doctorate. Uh, I actually had started working on it and got all the way to the dissertation phase, and they call that all but ABD, all but dissertation, and I was there. But my mom passed. As a matter of fact, I returned to McKinsey to help take care of my mom because she needed 24-hour care. And I just, when I came back, and within 7 months after I had come back to McKenzie, she passed. And I just didn't have the drive.
Mhm.
So I let it go. I put it down. So I haven't finished that yet. Yet. My goal is to still finish it before it's time to leave this world. That is my goal. I'm not going to give up because again, my mom says
Mhm.
I watched her; she never gave up.
Never
So
gave up.
yeah, that's the one thing.
Okay. Well, me knowing you for as many years as I have, there's no doubt in my mind that you will finish it
Thank you,
because you're a woman. If you set your mind to it, you're going to get it done.
thank
So
you.
you'd be surprised. I look up to you in a lot of ways.
Oh no,
Yes.
have mercy.
Describe your philosophy of life on life. I'm sorry.
No looking back. Shoulda, coulda, woulda,
Mm,
didn't. That doesn't get you anywhere in life. You live each day in the moment and you do the best that you can for that day, all throughout that day. You may make mistakes, but you still need to do the best that you can. And then you have to understand at the end of the day, there is another day coming. So take care of yourself at the end of that day. Know where you made your mistakes. Hopefully, figure out how you can correct some of those mistakes without having to look back and relive the mistakes over and over again. And then know that tomorrow is coming, and you get a chance to do it all over again, to do your absolute best. And that's what I've learned, and I try to live by. I try to teach my son the same thing: is there's no looking back. Let's
mm,
move forward. We can't change the past. It is what it is. We can learn from it, and then we need to move on. And then the other philosophy, of course, is never give up. Never,
very, very true.
never give up.
Do you live every day to the fullest?
I do my best. There are days now, I will admit, there are days when at the end of the day, I will reflect on the entire day and I'll realize I made some mistakes. And some mistakes I'm not proud of and I should have known better. But I know moving forward, tomorrow's coming. And after I have prayed about it, I've got to let it go and move on. And that's what I try to do.
Which is sometimes hard, I feel like.
Oh my gosh,
It is for me.
it is. It's now, let me tell you, it's hard in this world of education because sometimes you are reminded constantly of the mistakes that you have made. But you let's see, when you're reminded of those mistakes, you have to take a deep breath and you have, is there something else that you're missing, something else that you need to do? Hey, sometimes it's simply I didn't apologize.
Mhm.
I need to go back and apologize to this person, or I need to admit that I made the mistake.
Mhm.
And hopefully, when you go back to them, they'll forgive you and you'll move on. But letting go of some things, it is really tough. It's a work in progress every single day. Every
Like you
single day.
said, sometimes it's apology, which is so simple, but sometimes can be very hard.
It is.
Okay. How do you want to be remembered?
When you ask that question, it's like you're at the end.
Not Miss
No,
Royle.
no. Of course, for me, what's really important is that I want to be remembered for someone who people know that I serve God, that He is first. And whether that means that I'm talking to whoever I meet about the Lord, that's important to me.
Hmm.
That is the ultimate, is knowing that I've put God first. But I also would like to be remembered for someone who loves education, loves our students. This is where I'm working. I mean, this is the, the school. This is important to me. So I want people to know, yes, she cares about students. And yes, she understands that people make mistakes. And when you do, sometimes you have to receive the consequences, but I still care about you. I still love you. Somebody told me that the other day. I know you gave me, as a matter of fact, it was a student who told another teacher, I know that Miss Royle, she might tell me she loves me. No, she'll tell me that I'm wrong about something and she'll have to give me a consequence, but she tells me that she's still going to love me the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I want to be remembered.
Right.
Just serving God, serving people. That's who I am as a servant.
One of the things I love about you in your education role, administrative role as principal, you treat everybody the same. You treat everybody fairly, and that really goes a long way and is a really big standout. So, on behalf of a parent of McKenzie Special School District, I really do appreciate that you treat everybody the same.
Thank you. I do try really hard because I want people to treat me that way as well, and so that means a lot. I do appreciate that because there are days when it gets really really tough, but sometimes we all need to hear if we're doing something right.
Right.
So thank you for saying that.
You're very welcome. Okay, Ms. Royle, last question. Do you have a funny story that stands out to you? What's a funny story?
Sure do have a funny story. Let's see. The funny story is that you asked me to do this interview.
And I literally had to beg and beg.
And that is funny because I don't like being on screen or on any type of social media. I try my best to avoid the spotlight as much as possible. And yet I'm in a growth phase right now. And so it's funny to me because I did say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm out of my comfort zone in saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my funny story is that you asked, and I thought, oh, no.
Can't tell her no.
No, I couldn't because I'd already said that I would take a step. I would come out of my comfort zone of that. So that is funny. May not be funny to others, but if people know me, and especially my staff, they know she does not want her picture or anything on social media. So this is a big step for me.
Thank you guys so much for watching our legacy video. This is the reason why I asked Miss Doretha Royle, because she is such a powerhouse, but she likes to be a powerhouse behind the scenes. She don't want the praise. She don't want the forefront. And again, I just want to say thank you so much. It really means a lot that you've done the legacy video for me.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a growth experience, but I do appreciate it. And thank you for what you do in our community as well, because you do contribute so much to our community. So thank you for leading the way.
Thank you. I do it for people like Miss Royle, the students, and the rest of educators. Have a good day.